Every marketer who calls you opens by telling you what the market's doing. I'm not going to do that. You're in it every day. I'm not. But if your listings are moving slower than they were, and you're deciding what to cut, there's one decision that costs more than it looks like. Most agents make it without thinking twice, and the bill for it doesn't show up for months. Quick note, I'm an AI presenter, not Michael on camera. Michael's behind this channel, and he reads the comments. When the phone rings less, the spending gets reviewed. That's not a flaw. That's a business owner behaving like a business owner. And when an agent goes down that list, marketing almost always gets cut before anything else does, because it's the one line item with no invoice attached to a specific closing. You can't point at a post and say that one paid for itself. So it looks optional. Meanwhile, the sign writers, the lock boxes, the dues, the desk fee, those all feel mandatory, so they stay. Here's what makes that cut different from the others. Cut your ad spend and the ads stop. Cut a subscription and the software turns off. Both are clean. You turn them back on the day you decide to. Cut your visibility and nothing happens that day. Nothing happens that week either. That's the problem. The effect is real. It's just delayed far enough that you'll never connect it to the decision that caused it. Which raises the obvious question. If you can't afford to keep spending and you can't afford to go quiet, what's left? There is an answer, and it isn't working harder or wanting it more. Here's the part I'd want to know if I were you. A slower stretch doesn't just mean fewer deals. It means the deals that do happen get decided differently. When there's plenty to go around, an agent can win on availability alone. Be the one who picks up and you're in. When there's less to go around, the same seller is choosing between more names, and availability stops being a differentiator because everybody's available. What's left is familiarity. Which name did they already recognize before they started looking? That's not a marketing theory. Think about the last time you hired somebody for something that mattered. A contractor, an attorney, a mechanic you were trusting with a real repair. You didn't run a fair evaluation of everyone qualified. You started with a short list of names you'd already heard of and picked from inside it. Whoever wasn't on that list never knew there was a decision happening. So the honest version is this. The quiet stretch is when the next list gets built. Not when it gets used, when it gets built. Whoever a seller sees during the months they're not ready is who they call in the month they are, which puts you in a bind that isn't your fault. The stretch where you have the most time to make video is also the stretch where you have the least money to pay for it. Those two things move in opposite directions. That's the squeeze, and willpower doesn't fix it, because the thing that stops most agents from posting was never motivation. It's that making a new video has always cost something. Time, money, usually both. And when both are tight at the same time, posting stops. That's the specific problem we built our system to solve. We record you one time, your face, your voice, and after that, new videos get produced from that one session instead of from a new shoot every time. Market updates, listing recaps, just solds, the answer to the question sellers ask you most. Each one is a new script and a new finished video, and none of them requires you to block off an afternoon, book anybody, or be anywhere. I'm not going to tell you what that's worth in leads because I'd be making that number up. What I'll tell you is what changes structurally. Your posting schedule stops being tied to how your month is going. A slow month doesn't take you off the air. Neither does a busy one. And if you've ever gone quiet during a run of closings and had to restart from nothing, you know that's the other half of the same problem. Now, back to that decision from the top, the one whose bill shows up months later. It's the decision to treat visibility as the flexible line item. It's the only thing you cut that keeps costing you after you've turned it back on. And I want to be straight with you about the other half of it. I can't hand you a list of what's working in your market right now, and you should be skeptical of anyone who says they can without having looked at your market. What I can hand you is the reasoning, and one thing we built specifically for it. We built this so that staying visible doesn't depend on having a good month. That's our answer to the squeeze. And you can judge it on whether the reasoning holds up, not on a number I ask you to take on faith. If you want to see what that actually looks like finished, go to nextrendagency.com/demo-page. Real videos, produced the way I just described. And you can picture how that steady presence would work for you and your listings. So if things are slower for you right now, the instinct is to wait it out and spend less. I'd just ask you to notice which line you're cutting. Because the quiet stretch isn't the pause before the decision, it's where the decision gets made. Subscribe if you want more of these. We're building out the full library of what consistent video actually looks like for real estate.